Hi everyone. For the rest of the course, we will see a brief art history. This is the first chapter we are going to see, the prehistoric and ancient Mediterranean world. Let's see the beginning of the art history. So the Mediterranean Sea, where the story of Western art begins. It is surrounding Africa, the Near East, and Europe. Beginning around 3000 BCE, numerous ancient civilizations arose, overlapped, and interacted. They learned from one another and conquered each other. And they transformed into the world. This is a female figure sculpture 25,000 years ago. It was found near Willendorf, a town in present-day Austria. It is small enough to fit comfortably in the palm of hand. The body's proportions are exaggerated. Scholars long assumed that they were fertility figures used in some symbolic way to encourage pregnancy and childbirth. So this is daily life of Neolithic period in the rock painting of the Tessili-Nezer region of Algeria in northern Africa. So we can assume at that time the desert had not yet emerged. The region is a vast grassland, home to animals, plants, and the people we see depicted here. The figure depicts the essence of human and animal bodies in actively posed, stylized silhouettes. Now, let's see the Mediterranean worlds. In this video, we are going to see two big art threads of Mediterranean worlds. First one is Mesopotamia, and second one is Egypt. So let me show you ancient Mediterranean world's timeline. So the female figure we just saw is about 23,000 BCE, and the rock painting in the northern Africa is about 5,000 BCE. And the Mesopotamia arose about 2,000 years before the century. And this area of Mesopotamia was highly desirable, so many empires were built and disappeared. Sumer, Akkad, Babylon, Assyria, and Babylon again. On the other hand, Egypt was continued as one empire for 17 years, and it was parallel with the Mesopotamia's time period. So let's see Mesopotamia first. The region known to the ancient world as Mesopotamia occupied a large area roughly equivalent to the present-day nation of Iraq. Fertile soil, watered by the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, made Mesopotamia highly desirable, but a lack of natural boundaries made it easy to invade and difficult to defend. Sumerian built a city-state in Mesopotamia first, and the first empire was by Akkadian, and the second empire was by Babylonian. And the third empire of Mesopotamia was built by Assyrian. And the last empire of the Mesopotamia was built Babylonian again. So let's see one by one. The first cities of Mesopotamia arose in the southern area, a region called Sumer. The Sumerians were the first people to leave behind them not just artifacts but also words. Lacking stone, the Sumerians built their cities of sun-dried brick using the load-bearing construction technique. They had the refined and luxurious aspects of art. By 2300 BCE, the Sumerian city-states had been conquered by their neighbors to the north, the Akkadians. Under ruler Sargon I, the Akkadians established the region's first empire. Sargon I's grandson Naram-Sin commemorated his victory over the Lulubi people of eastern Mesopotamia with monumental stele of King Naram-Sin. It pictures the Akkadian king dressed in gold-like regalia and striding confidently over the defeated soldiers. Amorites, who consolidated their rule over the region and established a capital at Babylon. The most important legacy of Babylonian Empire is not artistic, but legal. A set of edicts and laws compiled under the ruler Hammurabi. Known as Hammurabi's Code, it is the only complete legal code to survive from the ancient world, and it has provided historians with valuable insight into the structure and concerns of Mesopotamian society. Assyrians had been gathering power and territory since before 1100 BCE. Their military strength increased significantly under Ashurnasirpal II. It was the largest empire the region had seen by that time. Ashurnasirpal's palace had gates fronted by monumental stone slabs curved into enormous human-headed winged beasts, a bull, and a lion. Babylonians, again, came to power in Mesopotamia in the late 7th century BCE. They formed a kingdom now called the Neo-Babylonian. These New Babylonians surely must be ranked among the great architects of the ancient world. They developed a true art before the Romans did and were masters of decorative design for architecture. Now let's see Egypt. The kingdom of Egypt was protected by rocky, unnavigable stretches of the Nile River, and the east and west by vast deserts. Egypt, during much of its long history, was spared the waves of immigration and invasion that continuously transformed Mesopotamia. The Greek philosopher Plato wrote that Egyptian art did not change for 10,000 years. The Sphinx is the symbol of Egyptian art. It is the essence of stability, order, and endurance. It faces the rising sun, seeming to cast its immovable gaze down the centuries for all eternity. Sphinx had the body of reclining lion and the head of a man, thought to be the fellow Khafre, whose pyramid tomb is in the center. Narmer's pose is typical of Egyptian art. When depicting an important personage, The Egyptian artists strove to show each part of the body to best advantage so that it could be read clearly by the viewer. Narmer's body is seen in profile, his torso full front, his head in profile, but his eye front again. The same pose recurs throughout most two-dimensional art in Egypt. Egyptians buries their most lavish art in royal tombs. Rulers were sent into eternity outfitted with everything they would need to continue life in the sumptuous style they had known on earth, such as furniture, jewelry, chariots, clothing, and artifacts of all kinds. And we are continuing to see the prehistoric and ancient Mediterranean world in the next video. Bye.